Every trader says the same thing. The news moves the market, but by the time you've read it, priced it, and clicked, the move is gone. So I built a desk where Claude does all three. It reads live headlines the moment they publish, decides if there's a real narrative or just noise, then checks the actual chart through a guarded execution tool. And it only trades when the story and the structure agree. One gate is opinion, two gates is a system, and the build is one Python file on top of the stack from my last video, which means you can have this running in under 20 minutes. Everything runs in demo mode, everything is educational, nothing here is financial advice, and every file and prompt is in the free guide in the Alpha Cartel Discord. Let's build it. Here's the design in 30 seconds, because it's the whole video. Gate 1. Claude pulls the last 90 minutes of headlines from major crypto news feeds and classifies each story, bullish, bearish, or noise. And most of it is noise. Price predictions, opinion pieces, recycled stories, discarded. Only fresh, concrete events pass. An exchange listing, a hack, ETF flows, a regulatory action. Gate 2. For anything that passes, Claude pulls the live chart through the executor tool from my last video, candles, order book, VWAP, and asks one question. Does the structure agree with the story? Bullish headline, but price is dumping below VWAP. No trade. Bearish news, but the chart's already reclaimed and holding higher? No trade. Only when both gates say the same thing does it execute. In demo, with hard-coded risk limits, it cannot exceed. Disagreement means standing down, and standing down gets logged as a decision, not a failure. Setup is fast because we're reusing the executor from the last video. New project folder, mkdir news-desk, then inside it, executor and logs folders. And straight away, before anything else exists in this folder, the gitignore, the NV file with your exchange keys goes in it on line 1. Keys never enter version control, never enter a chat window, and never appear in a screen recording. That habit is free, and it only costs you once if you skip it. Copy trade_tool.py and your .env from the previous project's executor folder into this one. 2 copy commands, both in the guide. If you didn't build that video, the executor is a guarded Python script that talks to weeks. 3 trade cap, $50 margin limit, mandatory stop loss, and take profit on every order, kill switch file, demo mode by default. Full code's in the guide. It works standalone. One important difference from last time, this build runs on Claude itself, native, inside Claude code, no model routing, no custom config file. So if you followed the last video, just don't copy the settings file over. Launch Claude in this folder, and you're on stock Claude. Also flip on web search when Claude code asks about tool permissions, because that's our secondary news source. When a headline looks tradable, Claude can search for it, find the earliest report, and check whether other outlets confirm or contradict it. That confirmation step matters more in news trading than anywhere else because a single source story is a coin flip and a 3-source story with matching timestamps is an event. Primary source is next. Web search is great for depth, but for the raw feed, we want something fast, structured, and free. RSS. 3 lines of dependencies, pip install feed parser, and 1 small file, executor/news_tool.py, full code in the guide. What it does, pulls the RSS feeds from CoinDesk, Cointelegraph, and Decrypt, filters to headlines from the last 90 minutes, and prints them as clean JSON, source, title, timestamp, link. That's it. No API keys, no rate limits worth worrying about, and Claude gets a machine-readable newswire instead of scraping web pages. Test it. Python executor /news_tool.py-minutes 90. If you get a JSON list back, Gate 1 has its data source. Each item carries 4 fields: the source, the age in minutes, the title, and the link. And the age field is doing quiet but important work. Claude doesn't have to guess whether a story is fresh, it reads the number. Quiet news hour and the list comes back short. Widen the window to 240 minutes for testing. During a real session, you want it tight. Why 90 minutes? Because narrative trades decay. A listing announcement from 6 hours ago is already in the price. The window where story and structure can still converge is short, so the tool enforces freshness at the data level before Claude even sees it. And notice the division of labor here, because it's the pattern for every agent build. Dumb tools, smart model. The Python fetches, Claude judges. The Python executes, Claude decides. Everything irreversible lives behind hard-coded limits, and everything intelligent lives in the prompt. Now the rulebook Claude trades by. This lives in the session prompt, and the exact copy-paste version is in the guide. Here's what it enforces. Rule 1. Classify every headline, bullish, bearish, or noise, and noise is the default. To pass Gate 1, a story needs 3 things. It's fresh, it's concrete, an event, not an opinion, and it names a tradable asset. Bitcoin could reach 200,000, says analyst. Fails all 3. Exchange X halts withdrawals, passes instantly. Rule 2. Maximum 2 candidate assets per session. If 5 stories pass, Claude ranks them and takes the 2 strongest, clearest event, freshest timestamp, most direct link to a listed pair. Focus is a risk control. Every parallel narrative you track dilutes the attention on the ones that matter, and that's as true for an agent working through a context window as it is for a human working through a session. Rule 3. For each candidate, pull the chart with the view command and answer the structure question in writing. A bullish narrative needs price holding above VWAP or actively reclaiming it. A bearish narrative needs price rejected below. The reasoning has to be stated before the trade. Thesis first, order second, because that written thesis is what we audit afterward. Rule 4. Gates disagree. No trade. Log Y. This is the one that makes the system honest. A news bot that always finds a trade isn't reading the news. It's rationalizing. Ours is explicitly allowed to come back and say, 3 narratives, 0 confirmations, no trades today. That's a successful session. And under all of it, the executor's limits still apply. 3 trades, capped margin, bracket orders attached at the exchange. Claude works inside the cage. The cage doesn't negotiate. Here's the session prompt going in. 1 block from the guide. It hands Claude both tools, states the protocol, sets the session at 1 hour, and ends with the line that matters. Begin with the headlines. Hands off. Watch what it actually does. First move, it runs the news tool. 20-some headlines come back. It works through them in plain text. This one's an opinion piece, discard. This one's a week-old story, recycled, discard. Then it stops on 1, a concrete event tied to a major asset, published 40 minutes ago. Gate 1, bullish bias, stated in a sentence. Then, this is why we enabled it. It runs a web search to confirm the story isn't already stale or contradicted, pulls 2 more sources, timestamps the earliest report. Narrative confirmed as fresh. Now Gate 2, it calls the view command on the asset, and watch how it reads the data. This is the part you can't hard code. Price above VWAP, check. But it goes further, the pullback low held above the prior swing, so structure is stacking higher lows, and the order book shows bids layered thicker than asks near the level. It writes the thesis in full sentences. Fresh bullish catalyst, structure an agreement, entry on the reclaim, stop below the last 5-minute swing low. Not an arbitrary percentage, an actual level. Target at 1.8 to 1 reward to risk. Then, and only then, it fires the scalp command. The demo order lands with the stop and target attached at the exchange itself, so even if the agent crashed this second, the position is fully bracketed. Second candidate is the better lesson. Solid bearish headline, passes Gate 1 clean. But the chart disagrees. Price already reclaimed VWAP and is holding higher, which usually means one of 2 things. The market absorbed the news and moved on, or the selling happened before the story ever hit the wire. Either way, shorting it now is trading a ghost. Claude writes it out. Narrative bearish, structure bullish, gates in conflict, standing down, and it moves on. No trade. And that's the system working exactly as designed. A human sees a scary headline and wants to act on it. The protocol sees a scary headline the chart already digested and refuses. That refusal is the clip I'd show anyone who asks what this does. From there, it goes quiet and pulls. Every few minutes, it checks the positions command, reports the mark price against the bracket, and does nothing else, because rule of the protocol, exits belong to the exchange side orders, not to second thoughts. The position resolves on its own. Session ends with one trade resolved by its bracket, one conflict logged, and a written report in logs /news_session.md. Every headline it read, every classification with its one-line reason, both structure reads with the levels cited, every decision, including the one it didn't take. The report is the product, not the PNL, the reasoning trail. Read it like this. First, check the discards. Did it correctly bin the opinion pieces and stale stories? That's Gate 1's hit rate. Second, check every stand down. Was the conflict real when you look at the chart yourself? That's Gate 2 doing its job. Third, only third, look at the trades. One session proves the pipeline, not the edge. Before this graduates from an experiment, it needs a track record. Run it daily in demo for 2 weeks, same window each day, and grade the log every weekend. 3 numbers to keep. How often confirmed narratives followed through, how often stand-downs turned out correct when you check the chart after the fact, and the running demo result. 2 weeks gives you maybe 20 to 30 classified events. Small, but enough to see whether news plus structure agreement is signal or ceremony on the pairs you trade. Either answer is worth knowing, and this is the part most people skip. The system hands you the data, graded and timestamped, to actually know it instead of feeling it. So that's the news desk, an RSS wire, a guarded executor, and Claude in the middle doing the one thing code can't. Judgment, with its reasoning written down, and 2 gates it can't talk its way around. Notice what you didn't build. No sentiment model to train, no scraper to maintain, no signal service to pay for. The intelligence is a protocol and a prompt, and when you want to change how the desk trades, you edit sentences, not code. The whole build is one Python file on top of the last video's stack, and everything, the news tool, the executor, the session prompt, the protocol, is in the companion guide, free in the Alpha Cartel Discord, link below. Like and sub if this earned it. See you in the next one.